Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Flip, why do I sound so rough? I don't know. But then good morning, good evening, good noon, and good afternoon. Wherever you are, I hope you guys are doing better and keeping things 24. I'm Dominic. I'm glad to see you, and I'm sure you're glad to see me. I know it's been a while, but yeah, we are back again for round two. And yeah, I hope you guys are well. I'm well. Glad to see you. I say once again, welcome to the talk, where today we talk about how communication is actually underrated and how maybe we can come to a solution of how we can fix it. This is, I'm not an expert, so it's unprofessional advice or an unprofessional conversation. You know, um, communication. Communication for me is like a way of connecting with somebody, understanding another person and letting the other person understand you. That's how I feel about communication. Without communication, many relationships or many things you have in mutual wouldn't actually exist, you know. And for me as a youth, quote unquote, I believe that, or not that I believe, but I have a little sense that communication is actually going into plummets. It's plummeting. Where's the English in that? That's how I feel about it. How because majority of things I feel like are taken for granted, especially communication because in today's time we have phones. We have so much access to connect to the other person, but that is not even utilized to the point whereby people feel like, I'm not being heard. This person doesn't understand me. I'm trying, but they are not trying. That's because like there's a lack of communication between you and the other person. This happens anywhere between you and your friends, you and your family, even at work. You understand? So yeah. So right now we're just gonna talk about it. So how am I with communication? No, before we get into me, how are you with communication? And that's where the comment sections are, whereby you guys can comment, and yeah, we can. That's how me and you can like connect. Communication, right? So with me, am I bad with it? I would say that I've gotten yes, I was bad. I was bad at communication. There was a stage in my life where I was bad with it, but now I'm better. I'm trying my best. However, what I realized is that with me, I'm more of I talk a lot. You understand? I talk a lot if necessary. And if I have to say something, I do say it. And also for me, I can't communicate with everybody because my level of communication for somebody that I like being around is different from communicating with somebody that I don't know or I don't like. So there is like a level of inconsistency. I mean, I can't be constant with my level of communication with somebody that I don't know because there's a lot of thoughts that I have regarding, is it necessary for me to say this to them? Is it not necessary to say that? So something like that. However, like with me, communication is something that I value the most, especially when somebody communicates with me. It's something that I really love. And so hence now I've taken the what? Privilege or like the taken the affection and I want to bring it towards others because why not? If I like it, why wouldn't the next person like it? Not in a selfish manner or narcissistic way, but I mean, why not share it? You understand? So, yeah, what is the worst communication experience that I've had? Well, obviously, family between family members. Yeah, that was when I was like, okay, should I tell them or not? But then to be realistic, this year I've had like the worst experience of it, and to this day I still ask myself, was I a bad person or like, or are they making me a bad person? So what happened was, is that so what happened was is that what happened was, what happened? Let me start it off. I'm trying to keep it short, because it happened for days and days on. So, like, I want to keep it short for you guys. So, what happened was, I left the house, right? And I went to my friend's crib. And then when we got to my friend's crib, we chilled, like, literally from noon until evening. We were chilling, we were catching up and stuff like that. So, my phone switched off. And I couldn't update where my car, I couldn't update them. However, like, before I left the house, I told them where I was going. Understand? It's not even a kilometer away or a mile away. It's like literally it's like across the street type of thing. So we chilled. Time passed. The next day, so now I slept at my friend's place. Yes, I was at rest, guys. This is student life type ish, you understand? So slept at their place. The next morning, I woke up. I'm like, oh, flip, I forgot to charge my phone. It's low on power. Low on power, no, low on battery. Cool. I'm like, you know what? I'll charge it when we come back, because my friend was like, yo, Sims, let's check out let's go to the store fast when we come back. I'm like, okay, cool. I forgot to charge my phone, right? We leave. When we come back, I'm like, oh, flip, charging my phone. Flip, I charge it. When I turn on my phone, I see messages. They're like, yo, Sims, you don't talk, you don't tell us where you are, da 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 da. Then I was like, but when I left the house, I did tell you guys where I was, right? And then nothing. You understand? So I was like, okay, that's weird, because I did say where I was going. The problem with me is that my phone ran out of charge. So who's wrong? You understand? Who's wrong in that situation? Cool. Fine. I left it. I thought that everything was cool. I chilled with my friends. We chilled, and then, more catching up and stuff, spent the whole day. Now I'm like, bro, let me hit up my phone. Let me check my phone. When I check my phone, it's like drama all over again. It's like, yeah, Simpiu, you're not saying this, you're not saying that. Why aren't you saying anything? I'm like, but bruh, like, I thought we talked about it previously. So then I was like, you know what, it's cool. Just to put the dogs to rest, or put them, I don't know, how do they say that saying? I forgot. I forgot how they say that saying. But I let sleeping dogs lie, and then I was like, you know what, you are right. I'm the wrong one. I didn't say what needed to be said. I left it. And then, yeah, things became better. But then to this day, sometimes I do look back at that moment and I'm like, bruh, but I did say what's happening. And you do know, if I'm not at the house, where I am. It's literally not far away. So besides my phone running out of charge, that's the only disadvantage that I had. So I was like, am I wrong, or who's wrong in that situation? But I was like, you know what? It happened. I learned my lesson, and I know how to become a better person in certain instances. So yeah, that's what happened. And to me, I don't know. Was I a bad person? I don't actually know. Before we get into this one, I would like to say this. It's not a compensation or a justification, but I would like to add on. There's a difference between miscommunication and no communication. Miscommunication is like, basically, you are just like, you are saying what needs to be said to another person, but then they misinterpret it, or they can't comprehend what you said, and then all of a sudden their actions show otherwise. Like, basically, you're telling somebody ABC, but then they are telling you CBA, and then, or they do CBA, and then you're like, oh, flip. But I told them. Understand? No communication. It's in itself. Like, you don't say anything. Basically, in today's time, it's ghosting somebody. Not ghosting somebody, but in whatever scenario you're in. Basically, you're just disappearing, and then people see by your actions that, hey, man, why is he moving in a certain way? He didn't mention anything to us. He's tough. That is That is no communication at all. So I have questions for you guys as the listener. What is challenging about communication for you? That's the first question. Second question is, in what ways have you improved your communication? That's the second question. Welcome to the story section of the podcast. So the story section compiles of, whereby I go to Reddit and then I do some digging, find stories, and then me and you can talk about it, and then see where it goes. Okay, the first story says here. Okay, so you guys can read it. If you guys are on video, you're supposed to see it somewhere on the screen. And then for you audio listeners, I'm gonna try my best to be as novel, be the best reader you've ever heard in your life. Okay, cool. Advice on communicating to a parent about needing space. Okay, my mom is someone who wants to talk every day and asks me the same three questions every day, the same small talk every day, and I'm not a fan of small talk. It gets old and has been old for a long time. I've been getting to a point where I've been getting to a point where I just don't respond anymore because it irks me to have the same conversation every day. I'm not trying to sound ungrateful because I do enjoy talking to my mom, but I just don't feel like I need to talk to her every day since I pretty much do the same thing every day. She's also someone that tells my business to everyone, even when I ask her not to. And that has also been another driving point for my frustration. I probably sound really selfish by asking this, but I just don't know how to communicate to her that I don't want to talk every day. I am someone who enjoys my alone time and is very introverted. I know I need to be grateful for having my mom, and I absolutely am, but I don't have the mental energy to have the same exact conversation every day. Any advice or tips? Bruh. Okay, bruh, you've tried. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, guys, because okay, mothers talk a lot, like for real. Like, okay, I mean, they're proud of you as their son or daughter, right? So I don't know. I am not sure what to say on that one. For real. I am not sure because you've tried your best. I think maybe sitting down with her properly. Properly, like as in she can see that you're serious. That is the best way out of it. But let's hop into the comment sections. Comment section says here, this is a tough spot to be in because obviously it's hard to just cut off. Wait, what? Obviously, it's hard to just cut off your mom. I know this is not very helpful, but I would personally try to tolerate it, keeping in mind that she probably just wants to talk to me and feel connected. Of course, if there are reasons she is being toxic or negatively affecting you, then I would get why you would voice for some space. But otherwise, personally, I would say try to understand that your mom loves you and just do this for her. Also, don't share too much personal info with her if you are worried about her telling other people, like you said. Keep the convo light and maybe cut it short by saying you have to go do something if you feel it's running on or draining you. Family relationships can be tough, and I've been in this exact spot myself. I had to just push myself to the more tolerant and accepting, knowing that my mom just missed me and wanted to talk to me. Hope this kind of helps. I think that's like the best. That's the best way. Parents have an attachment thingy to their kids. And if you're a parent and you're watching this, there's nothing wrong with that. But then the moment like you are always, you are handcuffing yourself to your child, it gets too much, guys. And also us, I think as children, as their kids, we should understand where they are coming from as well. But if it gets to a point where you as the child are a bit uncomfortable, try to say it, or like as Alexa says, just chop off like the amount of time you spend with them, like as in cut things short. Next scenario, okay, is asking questions not a crucial part of conversation? See, this one, before I get into this one, I think there's a difference between asking a question to further conversation and asking a question as if it's an interview. There is a difference and the funny thing is, you're not in control of how the conversation goes, you know, because like what I mean by this is that there is a huge difference. Let's say you meet somebody, right, and you want to know about them. how you ask your questions, if they are interested in answering, it won't feel like an interview. But now, when you ask as if it's an interview, that's when they might be disinterested, as well as on their side. If if they are not willing to give you the straight up answer, to not make it feel like an interview, then basically, in summary, it goes both ways. It goes both ways. And if your conversations always feel like interviews, then maybe change the way you're asking. Like, find a better follow up question, or for the person who's being asked the questions, find a better way to answer, because like every time you have a close ended answer, it's like, what's up? And then if you, as the person asking the question, your questions are actually not open ended, then that's where the problem starts. It's gonna be like, what the flip is going on? Okay, cool. Getting into it. It says here, I mostly keep conversations going by asking follow up questions. And if I start talking about something I want to talk about and the other person doesn't ask any questions, I feel like they don't care, and I don't want to keep talking about it. I often get really irritated with people because they don't ever ask me any follow-up questions, and I ask them a lot of questions, and then they just talk and talk and talk. I wonder if some people just expect you to start a monologue without them asking anything. Am I wrong for expecting people to ask me questions? I don't want to end up in conversations where I talk 5% and they talk 95%. But if the other person doesn't ask anything, it ends up being like that. Okay, wait. I'm sorry about the bad reading, guys. It says here, they talk 95%. But if the other person doesn't ask anything, it ends up being like that, because I feel like I'm talking to a wall when they don't see anything to what I'm talking about. And then I just rather keep interviewing them. How do I change this? You are not in control of that situation, my brother. Like, I'm being for real. Excuse me for the bad reading, because bruh, reading somebody's like text is different from, like, I don't know, they change. People don't write the same. So like, bear with me. So with this scenario, Alina, you are not wrong. Like, I mean, being in a conversation whereby you talk 5%, they talk 95%, you're not in control of, like, conversations. The funny thing about conversations, you would like to have it, but you're not in control of how it goes. That's the thing about conversations. And people are not the same. You understand? So you might meet somebody who doesn't prefer questions, but they prefer you to talk more. But then, it depends what type of questions they ask you. You understand? And I understand that, like, if they're not interested in asking you questions, it may seem like they are not interested in what's happening in your life. You're not at fault, and it's not in your control. So with this type of thing, my opinion on it is that, like, just not live through it, but you're not in control of that situation. So, and if they're not asking questions, yeah, it might seem like they're not interested, but maybe they don't know how to ask the questions, or maybe they don't want to make it feel like it's an interview type of thing. So that's my take on it. What do you guys think? I may be wrong, but then that's how I see it. In the comment sections, says here, your instincts are correct. 90% of the time, it should be a fairly even back and forth, a mix of sharing and questions on both sides. I feel like it's fair to assume people aren't interested if they don't ask questions, or otherwise comment in a keep going kind of way. I guess I would say don't ask follow-up questions unless you yourself are at least a bit interested. Perhaps people are going to wait. Perhaps people are going on so long because they think you are super interested. Ask yourself whether what you are talking about is actually likely to interest someone else. And lastly, perhaps find some new company. Perhaps people that will find your interests interesting, and whose interests you will find interesting, and that you will have a better back and forth with. Bruh, the reading is bad, bro. Like, dude, like, I'm being for real. The reading is bad, but then, alright, cool. Exactly. You understand? So people are not the same, Gav, and you're not in control. But then, if you guys can balance, and also conversations are like you give and take, and you give and take. It's a win-win situation. You ask questions, they answer. Well, that's like basically how to keep a conversation. But then, how to keep it interesting? I think just keep on asking questions because they wouldn't tell you. You understand? So, that will be a topic for another episode, Gav. So then, the next story: how to improve verbal communication skills. I went back to school recently and I've noticed that I seem to struggle more and more with communication every year. I usually don't know what to say or when to say it. And when I do know what to say it, wait. What? Bro, what? Wait. I think, I'm not reading properly, um, don't judge me, okay? Says here, I've went back to school recently and I've noticed that I seem to struggle more and more with communication every year. I usually don't know what to say or when to say it. And when I do know what to say, it comes out as much more simple than what I was thinking. I have thoughts that are much more complex than others my age, and it shows in my writing or typing. Whenever I try to talk in real life, it's like trying to talk to a confused toddler. My words get mixed around and I don't end up saying as much as I would like to. It gets more and more frustrating as I get older, and I would like to improve my verbal communication skills. I can relate to what he's saying, he or she's saying. I've been in the same spot. It's not nice at all because, you know, there's just like this little thing you want to say, right? But then the way it comes out, it's like your interest and passion for that subject, it gets enlarged. So now you have a huge paragraph to say instead of you saying a simple short statement. And that is what I'm currently practicing. I think you guys can also tell on the podcast that, you know, beginning of the pod, I would like elongate everything, but then now I'm trying to shorten it, and little by little, little by little. So what I would say with this one is that just try to focus on what you're trying to state, and then end it there. And then if they wanna, they want you to elaborate, then go ahead and elaborate and say that whole monologue or paragraph. So yeah, welcome to the next segment of the podcast. So I am going to take a quiz whereby to find out what type of communication style I have, and then maybe you guys can also try it for yourselves. I will link the quiz website in the description below. And yeah, the first scenario says here: a co-worker takes credit for a project you led. How do you handle the situation? A. Don't say anything and let them get the accolades. B. Call them out in front of the whole team. C. Let it happen, but tell all your other co-workers the truth. And then the last one says directly address your concerns with them face to face. Okay, I would like to say that I'll go with this is not tough. I think I'll go for the last one whereby, like, I'll directly address my concerns with them face to face. Like, what the flip is happening? Why are you taking my ideas, bro? Whoa, what's happening? Okay, alright, cool. Second one says here your direct report keeps missing their deadlines. Okay, how do you approach them about it? You stress the importance of timeliness and ask how you can be supportive. You mentioned it in a team stand up after a project is delayed. You wait for their mid-year review to address it. And then the last one says you don't mention it and hope they'll figure it out. I think I'll pick the first one. I will stress the importance of timeliness and ask how I can be supportive. Yeah. Wait, whoa. Says here your direct report keeps missing their deadlines. How do I approach them about it? Yeah, man. Wait, but then why must I support him missing deadlines. Nah. Nah. I think, wait, nah. But then I want to help the situation, right? So I think I'll stress about the importance of timeliness and ask how I can support, as in help you to become a better report director or something. I don't know. What is a direct report, dog? Uh, I don't know. Okay, all right. So the third one says, you're struggling with a task at work. How do you ask your boss for help? Tell them, okay, the first option says, tell them it's going great. You don't know what to, you don't want to look incompetent. Okay. Second one says, I can't get the hang of the new procedure. Can we review it again? Third one, you ask for help but secretly let them complete it for you. Dang, that's sketchy. D, I have too much on my plate right now. I think, with me, I don't want them to do it for me. That's not, the third option is not for me. But then I can't get the hang of the new procedure. Can we review it again? Yeah, I think, yeah, I'll go for the second one. I can't get a hang of the new, yeah, second option. Second option, baby. Okay, then it says here, your parent criticizes your job or your life choices. What do you say to them? First one says, it's none of your business. Stay out of it. Second one says, you are probably right. I guess I could have done things differently. Third one, I respect your opinion, but I stand by the choices I've made. And then the fourth one says, gee, I wonder why I turned out like this. Dang. Dang. Okay, I'm going for the third one, whereby I say, I respect your opinion, but I stand by the choices I've made. That's fair. Okay. Okay, your uncle always brings up okay, this is the next scenario. It says here, your uncle always brings up diversive topics and causes drama at family parties. How do you approach him about the situation? The first one, just stay out of it. Second one says, you angrily confront him in front of everybody. Third one says, tell him privately that certain topics should be off limits. And then fourth, you don't invite him to the next gathering. I'll go for the third one, whereby I will tell him privately that certain topics should be off limits. Alright, cool. Sixth scenario, if your sibling keeps canceling plans with you, what do you say to them? No worry. Okay, the first one says, no worries, next time. Second one says, why do I bother? You clearly don't care about our relationship. Third one, it's fine. I have better things to do anyways. The fourth one says, when you cancel plans like this, it makes me feel unimportant. I think I'll go for the okay, I think I'll go for the first one. No, but I can't go for the first one because they keep canceling plans. It's a thing that's happening. So not the first one, but then I think I would go for, why do I bother? You clearly don't care about our relationship. Nah, it's fine. I have better things to do anyways. Nah, that sounds petty. I think I'll go for the fourth one, whereby I'm like, when you cancel plans like this, I feel like I'm unimportant. Yep. The seventh scenario says here, you want your partner to be more adventurous in the bedroom. How do you communicate your desire? Okay. First one says, you don't. It's too awkward to talk about. Second one says, handcuff them to the bed and take matters into your own hands. Bro, you watch too many movies, bro. Third one says, tell them you love your okay, tell them that you love your sex life, but I have some ideas to spice things up. Sorry about that. I choked on that. Okay, no, there's no pun intended. That was literally like I choked on my it went down the wrong pipe. Okay, sharp. Okay, fourth one says, leave your laptop open to a sex toy website for them to accidentally see. No. That's weird, bro. Like, why are you searching about toys and stuff? Nah, I think I'll go for the third one, whereby I tell them I'll go for the third option, whereby tell them you love your sex life but have some spicy ideas. Wait, what? But have some ideas to spice things up. I'm going for the third one. Boom. Boom. Okay, boom. Okay, now we're going for the eighth one. It says here, how do you tell your roommate you want to help? Wait. How do you tell your roommate you want them to help out more around the apartment? Oh my gosh, bro. This is so relative. Oh my gosh. Like, bro, I've had not the worst, but unnecessary drama regarding roommates, bro. But then, topic for another day, bro. Topic for another day. Says here, the first option says leave sticky notes suggesting someone hasn't been pulling their weight. Okay. Second one says hold a house meeting to outline your expectations. Thirdly, tell them you are sick of cleaning up after them. The fourth one says you let the chores pile up to see if they notice. Okay, I'm gonna take a little side quest. I have tried the fourth option whereby you let the chores pile up and see if they notice. Flip, guys, it doesn't work. I've tried it before. People are weird. Like, people, maybe it's because in my life I've encountered people who see a problem and then they decide to walk around the problem. That's what happened. Somebody will see that the whole kitchen is filled with dishes and then they will just decide to take, like, they won't solve the problem. They will literally take the dishes and the accessories that they need to cook and then they will do whatever. And then after cooking, they don't clean. They basically, they don't solve the problem. I've been there and it's not a nice thing. And if you guys do that, I don't know how you guys do that. That is not right, guys. Let's be for real. Let's be for real. So the third choice is tell them you're sick of cleaning up after them. I tried that as well. Like, literally, it's like it gets in through the other ear and then it comes out and it's not nice. So what I did was I held a meeting to outline the expectations. Literally, that's what it came to that point and things became better around the house. For real. So going for the second one. Boom. Ninth scenario says here, how do you express your discomfort about your boyfriend's close female friendship? Okay, how do I express my discomfort about my girlfriend's close male friendship? This is important, guys. This thing of like male besties, wait a minute. What do you mean by that? Okay, cool. Says here, first scenario, have a great time. As in, you're just telling them to go and, you're not expressing your discomfort. And the second one says, oh, I am surprised you wanted to spend time with me tonight. Whoa, that's sarcastic, bro. And then the third one says, I respect your friendships, but I want to feel like I am your priority. That's the one I'm going for. And then the fourth one says, stop hanging out with him or we are done. Bro, that's some control freak type ish, but I'm going for the third one where I respect your friendships, but I want to feel like I'm your priority. Boom. And then going for the 10th one. How do you express your hurt over not being invited by a close friend to a gathering? The first option, it says you text them, hey, I'm bummed I wasn't invited. Is something up or am I overthinking? Second one, you text them, heard about your little party. Not sure what I did wrong. Okay. Third one, you reply to their IG story. Looks like fun. Okay, that sounds jealous a bit. Okay, in a way, you keep. Okay, then the last option, you keep it bottled up inside. I'll go for the. Okay, I'll go for the first one whereby you text them, hey, I'm bummed I wasn't invited. Is something up or am I overthinking? Yeah, that's the first one because that's more mature, bro. There's no need to be viewing IG stories and leaving petty comments, bro. Nah, let's be direct about it. 11th scenario says here, how do you tell a friend that you think they drink too much? Okay, first one, I feel worried about your drinking habits. Is this something you would be open to talking about? Second option, I avoid saying anything that might make them uncomfortable. I'm not that type of person. Third option, do you really need one for the road? Wow, That's offensive, bro. Like, then the fourth one says, you need help, dude. You are an alcoholic. Okay, that is so direct. Like, oh my gosh. I definitely wouldn't go for the second one because that one. Okay, no. Yeah, I wouldn't go for the second one because if I were to be your friend, a friend is somebody that needs to be honest with you and want to see you become better. That is a true friend. So the second one is out of the picture. So with me, I think I'll vie with. I feel worried about your drinking habits. Is it something that you would like to talk about? Be okay. I'm making up words in my head, guys. So the reading is not good. It's not good. It's not good. Okay, so I'm going for the first option. 12th scenario says here, how do you tell an acquaintance you want to become better friends? Damn. Okay, you just ghost them and see what happens. What? That doesn't help. Okay, you text them, hey, I feel like we really clicked after chatting last week. I would love to grab dinner soon. Okay, the second option is valuable. Okay, you text them every day, even when they don't respond. Nah, that's weird, bro. You get a mutual friend to talk you up in front of them. Nah, I'm going for the second one, guys. I text them, hey, I feel like we really clicked after chatting last week. I would love to grab dinner soon. Boom. Okay, 13th, you are out to die. You are out to dinner and they got you a wrong order. What do you say to your server? Thank you, this looks great. Wow. Second one says, what kind of service is this? You can forget about a tip. That's rude, man. Third one says, can I speak to the manager? Please. I'm not a Karen. Okay. The fourth one says, I think there was a mix up. This isn't what I ordered. Yeah, I'm going for the fourth one. No discussion. 14th scenario. Your neighbors are keeping you up at all hours of the night blasting music. How do you get them to stop? Damn, I'm a student, so I'm normally the one who blasts music. So, but then now that I have the shoes have been, I'm in their shoes now. I think. Okay, the first option says call the cops and file a noise complaint. Nah, this is South Africa, boy. This is South Africa. They're not gonna do anything. Calmly knock on their door in the morning and express your concern. Okay, I think that's optional. Bang on their door and demand they keep it down. This is South Africa. Hey, there's no such thing. Put in your earplugs and try to sleep through it. This is South Africa. That doesn't happen. I think calmly, yeah, I would go for the second one. Calmly knock on their door in the morning and express your concern. Boom. And then the last one, the last quiz. You think you deserve a raise. How do you ask for one? You keep quietly working hard. It's so awkward talking about money. Okay. Second one says you meet with your manager to discuss the clear examples of your value to the company. Okay. The third one says tell your manager about the great offers you definitely have from their company, from other company. Wait, let me read that again. I'm sorry, guys. I got distracted. It says here, you tell your manager the great offers you definitely have from other companies. Bro, what are you doing with other companies? Okay, then the fourth one says you threaten to quit if you don't get your money or if you don't get more money. Bro, you're already losing your job. I think I'll go for the last one. I mean, the first one, the second one, whereby you meet with your manager to discuss the clear examples of your value to the company. Boom. And guys, I got my results. So my results say I am assertive. So it says here, you may be an assertive communicator. You like to be clear about your needs in any situation, even if it might lead to conflict or uncomfortable conversations. That said, you know how to stay calm and keep things respectful. It is important to you to make your voice heard, but never at the expense of listening to others. Of course, your communication style isn't set in stone. You may even have different styles in different situations. No matter how I communicate, da 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 da. That's it. But then, yeah, if you guys would like to take the quiz, link is in the description below. You guys can check it out. Take the quiz for yourself. Hop into the comment section. Let's share about it. Let's talk about it, right? Yeah. Thank you guys for listening to this episode. Thank you for watching this episode. It means a lot to me, to us at the podcast, for the podcast. And yeah. Oh, okay, sorry about that. Yeah, catch you guys on the next episode. And yeah, keep things 24 and better than before.